I'm in the middle of a Radical Miracles. Well, 2/3 of the way through. This is the second time we've done the book. I always like to workshop my books, and now we are in talks to, because my books are more workbooks where you do them with groups, and that's my intention, is to put out these books that you do as kind of like little book clubs or prayer groups or meditation groups or yoga groups, or Ayurvedic groups, or I don't know, hiking groups. So yeah, that will be out soon, and we're just discussing putting together video that will go along with the books as a companion piece. So welcome everyone to our little chat. This is February 2021. Welcome to Pause and Joy for all the new people who started following over the weekend because of Maria posting about her mother. And I've worked with Maria, been interviewed by Maria quite a few times since the Heal documentary, that if some of you have seen them or been on this journey, it started in Sedona with the premiere, opened up the Sedona Film Festival, and then it went to be in Santa Monica for a week. And it was so popular, people were going 2 or 3 times to take in all the information that Kelly Gorse had compacted in an 1 3/4 hour documentary, that people needed like 3 or 4 times to see it. And it was so popular, it lasted for 6 weeks by demand. And we had a lot of Q&As and a lot of great times. And it then has went onto Netflix, and then it has went onto Amazon. So it has had its journey. I think it's went onto Amazon just recently in the last week and a half. And Maria, on Friday, I was going to do a live on Friday just to kind of check in with everybody. I usually do it every kind of Friday night. But I was teaching on Friday. Hey, Megan. She just finished her Reiki 3. And because I was teaching, Maria had called me because we had got together a few weeks ago. She said, we want the Justice League of Healers to be in this kind of collective energy, and that's her name for it, not mine, but I liked it. And I was like, sure, let's do it. Like, what a great way to, get everyone together and, focus our energies and our intention and just, bring the force together. And that was really great. And then on Friday, she was kind of taken out of her distorted reality of really kind of focusing on a healing for her mom. And that's something that is not uncommon when you are dealing with your own diagnosis. And when you're trying to stay in that space, and I don't really like to call it positivity, because what happens is when you try and stay positive, the negative is present. So I really kind of take people into kind of like a distorted reality. And she joined the class on Friday with Megan, and had a healing attunement to really distort her reality. And then I did a session on Friday night remotely with her mom and her dad. And she's been really happy. She was able to kind of come here, and she was glowing. She had that energy glow, that Reiki glow after her treatment on Friday, and everything was great. But also, I wanted to pop on here as well because all that love and all that energy that you have in a focus point for Maria's mom is also coming through you, right? So that intense investment that you have, as many of you have with Maria, of knowing her and being part of her Patreon and just loving her for so many years because she's so part of the kind of American consciousness for many years, her and Kevin and Winnie and her mom and dad. You guys have been really invested, but you are also feeling that unified field of love, that when she posts things, like, you're in that space, and whatever you're going through, whatever your magics came up, whatever you're going through, come over here, Bobo. Come on. Oh no, it's Archie. Whatever you're going through, whatever your family members going through, a brother, maybe a sister, a child, you can use that energy as well to kind of use in your practice, whether it's your prayer work, whether it's your meditation practice, or just kind of placing your hands at your heart center to give yourself some energy. And I wanted to, talk about that, talk about our, I'm calling it the PPE, our own PPE of assimilating back in and re-entering society. Because some people deal with trauma and this dramatic change in the pandemic that we've been through over the last years differently. And if you've ever had any trauma, and it sometimes takes a beat for you to look at it. It actually takes a very unusual person, usually the people that are in pause and joy, to see it in the moment and how it's affecting them and pivot. Some people need to take a breath, take a beat, get a bit of distance from it to then look at it and see what their behaviors are that have changed them, or even having the awareness that they have behaviors. Now, those behaviors from a pandemic could be, you may have a little bit of a low grade anxiety about going out, going for a hike, going for lunch with a friend, even seeing a friend. And I want us to be able to notice that, not fixate on it, but notice where our blind spots are. Because you don't wake up overnight and become agoraphobic. It happens in little increments, and then there's a critical mass that you don't realize. You're like, I can get everything delivered now. I really like working from home. Oh, yeah, no, that's just not for me. And it starts to creep in. And I think we consciously need our own post-pandemic entering of society and togetherness. And just having some pointers that we can do that, I met with a friend the other day and we both were like, hi, and kind of doing this, and we leaned into one another and we're like, yeah, and we hugged each other with our masks on, and then we sat down and took them off. But some people don't want to hug. Some people don't. And some people are going to be very nervous and maybe even sit with their mask on at lunch and then just maybe take it off and put their visor on, their clear visor with the little specs, to eat underneath. So we're all going to come out of this with different sensibilities and sensitivities. And I want us to, first of all, be aware of that, You know, like there's a whole other etiquette around things now that are going to is going to roll out until the summer. And then I also want us, I'm going to be doing the Grateful Gratitude book again. I workshopped it twice last year, and it's quite intense. You know, I got told that I needed to go do a gratitude book, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do a gratitude book, I'm not going to be all fluffy about it, and I'm certainly not going to be in a surface place. We're going to go right into the underbelly of gratitude. And that's what we did. And it really is quite transformational. And we're going to probably be doing that next. But that's part of the second part of the post-pandemic entering, right, of society, which is this space to be in of the awareness of what you've realized over this last year. Like you've been put in a pressure cooker, think of it that way, or you've been put in a dark room of a photographer's studio. What has developed within you? What have you realized? What's become important that wasn't really that important before? Who is important? I hear a lot of people saying how they have missed seeing their family, and family became very important, or mending family had become important. What do you value now? Do you value your time better? Do you value your friendships more because you're thirsty and hungry for them? Do you value the little things of just being able to go out for lunch or tea or go for a hike and just wander? What is it that you value? Do you value yourself now? Do you value your health more? Do you value your homeostasis? Valuing just not having any underlying conditions. Valuing learning about your diet, nutrition, movement, even having a discipline, a self-discipline. You know, we talk a lot about self-care. And when I see videos on self-care, they're always about pampering. I find they're about pampering. Here, come here, Bubba. Come on. They're about pampering. You know, having a nice bath, having a nice this, having a nice that. And I think that's great, but to me that's pampering. So self-care, I want you to think of self-care in a different way for me. I want you to think of self-care. You know, many years ago I did yoga teacher training, but not to teach yoga. So that I had it in my back pocket and I could deepen my practice wherever I went. And I could pull it out whenever I needed it, you know, at retreats or anything like that. And maybe valuing, like, you know what, I would really love to do a yoga teacher training just for me. Not because I want to teach it, because I want to have a practice and know the sequences that I can just go and do. Maybe I want to value doing a masterclass on nutrition. Maybe I want to value my practice and my self-care practice in a different optic. you know, and looking at what is contributing to my underlying medical conditions. What emotional things have I not excavated in my life that I don't think matter to do? You know, I always say to my students, you're not here to come here as a lawyer and a this and a that and your job title. That's your part-time job. Your full-time job is to get to know you, the parts of you that you don't know, and discover this amazingness that lies underneath. And you have to excavate you and know yourself. That is your main job. Everything else is part-time. Whether you're a fund manager, a lawyer, a CEO, that's your part-time job. Your real job is to be, through those things, through those lenses, more you. Self-care can also be learning about my mind, learning about my emotional intelligence, learning about my energy, and not my energy as an emotional aspect, but what frequency am I? When is my frequency feeling at its optimum? What is it that makes my frequency, my unique frequency, feel strong, feel on, feel more powerful? What was it that I fed that frequency? Oh, I need to do more of that. Noticing more, because we are all different, right? We all have unique energies. We have similarities, for sure, but we are in singularity to what really benefits our energy. So these are things to kind of consider about self-care, that it's not just about pampering, it's about getting to know you that you don't know. You know, the ancient Greeks, you all follow Maria, the ancient Greeks were all about know thyself and to thyself be true. But what self? Know thyself. Really deep stuff. But we want to enjoy doing the work. We don't want to be going to the work with, oh my God, what's going to come up? Although some of my students do actually have that. And then they're like, oh well, I'll enjoy it anyway, because I always get a shift and great things happen afterwards. So it's really about enjoying looking at the stuff that you don't want to look at. And why do we not want to look at it? Why will we do everything apart from that? I think a few things are going on. I think we don't look at it because of this intense feeling of feeling shame, right? Feeling ashamed that we will kind of see it and then be stuck with it. And my work is to see it, admit it, and move through it. And come out the other side being like, wow, what took me so long to even look at that? I made it like enormous, like it was the size of the Empire State Building, when it's really like small. But you know those things that are like the Empire State Building, they cheat you in life. You don't even know it. Until what happens at the end, you start to regret things. Regret, why why didn't I take those chances? Why didn't I just start my own business? Why didn't I just go out on my own? Why didn't I, you know, trust myself more? That is also self-care. That is also self-love. So these are things for us to ponder over the next, you know, we have a really strong spring equinox. I say that because there is an asteroid coming very close on March 21st. And when that happens, it is, I think, quite telling. I'm going to be looking it up, you know, for the newsletter on March 1st. And you know, you can sign up for it on the on the newsletter. It's on the website. It's pausandjoy.com. So these are things that I want you to think about self-care, because it's not just about putting some balm on your face and a vitamin C mask. It's about putting some balm on all the things that are running your show that are invisible, that we don't really think matter, but they are turning into matter. That's called a condition or a diagnosis. And I'm all about the set point being you're supposed to be the healthiest being you're supposed to be. So what's in the way? What's contributing? Some people are ready to look at what's contributing. Some people are not. But everybody knows. Just not everybody knows that they can move through it with ease and enjoy the process. They think it's going to be excruciating and what's the point? You know, I'll just be talking about it. Yes, isn't that funny about genetics? If you look at, you know, the genetics of what Bruce Lipton said about the genes, how you changed the environment and the genes all responded differently in the petri dishes. You know, one of my students had said, you know, there was alcoholism in their family. I says, maybe there wasn't alcoholism in your family. Maybe there was gaslighting in your family. Maybe there was abuse coming down the family. Maybe there was people thinking they were not enough and sabotaging themselves and having to live with that. Maybe that's coming down the family of inherited beliefs. Just a thought. When you shift your ancestral karmas and your ancestral and inherited beliefs, you also change things in your physical bodies. Because these are also limitations that are put on you, but you have to buy into it. I'm not usually buying what people are selling. My belief is goes in one direction. And that is for my betterment of what has went before. So it's been very good seeing you all and meeting all the new folk. I do this every so often. There's lots of videos on YouTube, on the Pause and Joy page on YouTube, because We did a lot last year of a 21-day meditation. We did tapping. If any of you have seen the Tapping and Heal documentary, so at the end we did tapping together with some of my students because they felt guilty that they had this tool that other people didn't have. So they wanted to tap on stuff that they knew their family had so that you, by osmosis, could get a shift that they had got. I know that's a lot. You might have to like replay that again. So I would love to chat with all of you individually, but just to kind of answer some of your questions that you all sent me over the weekend, you know, takes up a lot of time, and I really have to get the books and the workshops and the courses out to you so that you've got your lifelines, you've got your dinghies, you've got your speedboats to shift and turn this ship around very quickly. Because we're not going to wait. I'm done. We're not going to wait 2 years, 5 years and be like, yes, that's funny in therapy. I think that was because of that thing that happened 5 years ago or 10 years ago when there was a pandemic. That must be the way I am because of that. No. We're going to catch it by the tail. Catch it. We're going to get our magnifying glass out and be like, you know what? I'm starting to act a little anxious around going out around. So send me some messages on what you have noticed about coming out of this pandemic, and we'll put together a toolkit for you guys to use and hopefully turn your boat around quickly and get back to your dynamicness in your life. And maybe it's even, you know what it really is, self-care? Knowing the idea that you came up with during the pandemic and executing it. Or knowing that you should start that business now that, you know, you've lost your job. But you have to get through the fear and the anxiety. Really, just call it excitement. Start there. It's so exciting to be so terrified that I think I'm going to do it. Hey, what else are you going to do? Let's move through these things quickly. And, you know, obviously for people who are grieving, and you could be grieving the loss of your company or grieving a loved one, and that may take a beat of 2 years or a year to catch your breath, to be able to look at what happened there. And that's the thing about grief. Someone asked me many, many years ago who had lost someone, when is it the right time to tap on this? And they had 3 children. And I said, when you can't get up in the morning to be there for your kids, that's not what your wife would have wanted. If it's actually paralyzing you, we have to tap on it. We have to get rid of it. She wouldn't want this. So I'm going to leave you with that. Oh yes, Simon, being comfortable in the safe zone, right? Ooh. I think we have to look at that as a collective, that why have we been comfortable in the safe zone? Because we have come out of wars, atrocities, famines, coups, revolutions. I mean, our ancestors were hardly the kindest of people. And, you know, I can only speak for experience, but when I was growing up, my auntie just needed to look at me and you were turned to stone. People had a vibration when I was growing up in the 70s that was a look or a flinch or a, you know, you knew to And then think they were brought up by Victorians. If you've seen Downtown Abbey, all the little slights, nuances, subtle cues of shut your mouth. And then before that, they killed you. So we're in a space where, of course, it is in our DNA to seek the comfort zone and be in the place where the familiar is what we seek, but sometimes it's not the best for us. Sometimes it can keep us chained. And you know what? I know there is treasures and magic in all of us. It's just, the thing is, not everybody knows that. And sometimes it takes an activation when someone gets a diagnosis to be like, life is so short. I think that is something that has come out of the pandemic. I was talking to a friend in Texas last week, obviously, and he said he had COVID, and he said there is this COVID phenomenon that people have realized that life is short and they have no time for BS anymore. They have no time for superficiality anymore. They are just wanting to live their life and move through what they need to move through to have the life that they want. And I want that for all of you. That's why I started Pause and Joy 20 years ago, because you're killjoys. I mean, you sabotage like crazy. It's crazy how much you sabotage and limit yourself. So that's what Pause and Joy is all about. Life is so short, right? It is so short. But people who have had, and I'm so blessed that I've worked with people that have had a diagnosis that get it, they know it, and they're like, they have conviction. They're like, that's it, I'm done. Whatever they're done with, whether it's the toxic environment they were in at work, whether it was the toxic relationship. You know, you cannot flourish in a toxic environment. Whatever that toxicity is, whether it's jealousy, envy, all of it, you know, go do you. Let them talk about you. Let them ridicule you. Let them talk behind your back. Just do what it is that's calling you. And be bold. Be bold and brave. Go watch Disney's Brave. So yeah, it was very good speaking with you and talking to you, because it's time for us all to activate. And the more we all activate, the more joy we bring into the collective. And you know, I enjoy seeing people bring out their albums. I enjoy people releasing their new song. I enjoy going to my students' art shows. I enjoy my friends launching their books. I enjoy people going for it, because I'm already doing me. The people that don't enjoy it are the people that you're bringing stuff up for. And that's okay, because that's your gift to them. You're activating them. Sometimes to the extent where people have said to me, well, if she can do it, I can do it. I'm going to start my thing. Great. The more the merrier, right? So let's move with grace out of this, and yes, stay in your field, Stay in your own vibration, but you have to know what that vibration is. So you energetically have to be aware. Many years ago at a Q&A, someone asked a really interesting question. I like interesting questions. That was, did I believe that things started emotionally? And I said, well, yes and no, but I believe that things start energetically. You know, kind of like smoke. Starts energetically. And then you see a little spark. There's the emotion. And then it builds and builds and builds. And it can, you know, eventually go through the whole house. And that's what inflammation is. So really for me, everything is energy based, but I also know the evolution between the energy going into the emotions. And because we mislabel a lot of emotions. We sometimes believe that we're sad. Someone will come to me and they'll say, oh, you know, I'm really sad about this. And when I start tapping on them and we go into stream of consciousness and we start to freestyle, I'm like, you're not sad, you're mad. And they're like, I'm so mad. And then other people come to me and they're like, I'm so mad. And we tap into it and they're not mad at all. They're really sad and heartbroken, disappointed. The emotion is the doorway. So don't be afraid of the emotion, of your emotional sense. Just sit in it and be like, okay, am I really sad? Just a bit disappointed. Okay, I'm a little bit disappointed. I just, you know, I thought that person valued me more. But they don't. And then you have to, you know, do the work to let that go. Or maybe you were used because you weren't valuing you. Users always seek out those that don't know their own value. I'll leave you with that. Yeah. Like you're the catch. There is no catch. You're the catch. You're the one. But in a place of humility, in a place of grace, in a place of knowing that you're the one and that person, they're the one too, they just don't know it. You know it. They just don't know it. That they're also the catch. That one's also the catch. So, I will see you very soon. Oh, I love that, Simon. The gospel of truth. Let's finish with someone. Maybe Simon will come on. I don't know. He could be sitting with a face mask on. You know, who knows? Boom, Violetta said. He's in the shower. I had that feeling that there was some kind of mask self-care shower pampering thing going on. Yeah, see, I even know energetically that you're off doing that while you're listening to this. Oh, that's so funny. I look forward to seeing you all. I'm doing the Reiki circle this week. I think it's the 26th. It's in Virgo. And then to let people know, I always have a lot of energy after my Reiki circles. So we are going to be doing like a little we're just going to start with 30 minutes. So for those of you that have, um, are going through a diagnosis of cancer, or maybe you've come out of it, or maybe you are got a new diagnosis, or you've been caring with someone with cancer, we're doing true to you, true to you. And that will be after the Reiki circle. Okay, so yeah, just send an email or send a DM and I'll send you the link on Zoom. But or I'll send you Jackie's email. I think it's true, TRU2, and then you at gmail.com. I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. If Jackie's still on here, she can kind of post it for me to make sure that I said that correctly. But she's going to be coordinating the Zoom link for that because she has just also went through her own journey, and we had a really long talk about it. And you know, sometimes I think people that are going through cancer, came out of cancer, feel this need to feel sparkly for everyone, and I think you just need to be true to you. I want you to be true to you. Okay, and that would be amazing if you could spread the word to other people who want to do this, that are also going through a diagnosis. Oh, you want to be added to there's a link in the link tree to be added to sign up for the Reiki circle. So it was very nice speaking with you. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow, maybe, I think. Okay, love you. Bye.
Hey everyone, how you doing?